Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of my presentation, if I have unsettled you guys, make very uncomfortable, then I will feel my objective, right? Primarily, the theme, I believe, business and sales, is left to all of us in this forum today. So, in the 30 minutes that I've been allocated, I'm trying to touch upon the business context that we live in today, what's beyond technology, the challenges facing us, and how we could unleash value to the business and realizing our potential depends on all of you in this auditorium. So quickly, since time is of essence, I thought I would use a few videos to convey the messages that will far reach beyond the 2020s of this decade. seeing mega cities emerging, right? The mega city is close to what you're talking about 40-50 million population in a city, right? And with 8 billion population, there's an emergence of middle class, which is going to be phenomenal. Resources are going to be scarce. There is increasing shift towards city dwelling, right? That urbanization is going to be the way that you're going to see. And with urbanization, you're going to probably sever the connection with rural folks, and you're going to get connected on cyber, right? Like Facebook today. I'm sure that we spend more time interacting with our friends and our social communities on social media than face to face, which is a fact. I recently read an article where Google has stated that for their users, privacy is not a concern, right? And which is, I think, will become fact, because today's security and privacy is anybody's guess, right? Because it's a paradigm shift that we are facing. That today there's so much data out there, we don't know what's about us, which is out there, and who's reading about what in that sphere alone. So, given technology itself, as you would see when megacities are emerging, it's difficult for us to manage technology in silos, right? So, cooperative systems is how megacities are going to get managed, right? Because there's intelligence in everything that you would see, including your street lamps. There's another video that I will show probably. I hope the audio doesn't fail me there. And computation is reimagined. Today, computation is going to happen at a phenomenal speed. Like you see, the mobile phone that you carry has far more computing power than what we used to have in enterprises. Right? And human being is going to have a lot of insights to help us see a day through. Even that video illustrates that even if you want to cook a meal, there will be enough information to guide you through every step of the way, so that you don't have to be an expert in culinary to cook a meal. Right? So much information out there. As long as you can get the right information coming to you to do what you want, that's all you need. That's the cooperative systems and insight that we're talking about. And 2035, according to research, there is going to be fully fledged robotic policeman who is going to police the streets. Right? Robotics is going to be the norm into the future, and we have to get probably comfortable with that, and that's going to be the way things are going to emerge from the factory floors to common day-to-day things. You're going to be robotics in your day-to-day lives. Today, we are very specific about whom we solicit services from. IT services, we are very specific about vendors, we are very specific about brands. Going forward 2020, it would not matter. Today, I was just having a chat with Mr. Jayantalis as well, outside the corridor. Today, when you go and download an app from an app store, I don't think you put a lot of weightage or authenticity or who's developing those apps on the app store. Because you give credit, as long as it's on the app store, I don't care. I'll use it. Right? That's the way the world is going to move. The IT services or anything that you consume would be up there in the cloud. You wouldn't worry as to who's creating it. As long as it's usable for you, it has a benefit for you to use it. So enterprises in the future, and even as of today, we are seeing are becoming virtual, right? It's virtual offices, virtual teams. Today, we are proud to say that John is Sri Lankan. In another 5 years, I don't think we can say that, or any company could say that, because we will be a virtual enterprise, we will have a virtual market, we will have a virtual team who could sit practically anywhere in the world, because technology facilitates that. And if we let technology facilitate that, a company could be global. If you want a company to be local, so it will be local. Right? That difference is in terms of our thinking, what we want it to be. Right? Systems would be always on. Right? There is no company which can say, I start at 9 o'clock, I should stop at 4. Companies will be 24/7. Because you will demand that companies are 24/7. I know gone are the eras where about 20 years back, banks would stay, you step into my door at 9, and you might kiss goodbye by 3 o'clock after I will serve you. Today, if they tell that to you, you will say, go fly a kite, I'll find another bank. Right? Because as consumer, you have much more power and choices to determine how you would interact with the business and what is the level of service that you would command. And the changing demographics becomes an opportunity for you. Today, I think I have been an advocate in my organization of this single version of truth. Today, there's a fallacy. right? There is no single version of truth because there's so much of data out there in terms of big data. You cannot practically consume all of that and say, I have a single version of truth about anything. I have limited information in my warehouse about what I know, what I need. But beyond that, there's so much information out there that which we cannot comprehend, right? So single version of truth going forward is going to be fallacy. Talent itself, in terms of facilitating businesses, is going to be a huge challenge. Today, one of the biggest challenges that we face as CIO community is finding talent when you want to do something, right? That's becoming a very scarce resource, and it's becoming a resource that you're willing to share, right? You're willing to source from anywhere. Crowdsourcing, for example, is going to become a norm, right? As long as I know this place has credentials, I don't care whether he's sitting in US and serving me or he's sitting in Tibet and serving me. As long as I got a legitimate way of consuming his service and legitimate way of assuring that he is a critical resource. So the business will be driven by a new breed of CIOs. When I say CIOs, it doesn't stand for Chief Information Officer, but more of Chief Innovations Officer. Because today, IT has so much potential to offer, but sometimes as CIO community, we are finding it very challenging to take the proposition to the board and say, hey, look, this technology can give you business benefits. Are we able to have the debate or discussion in good business sense? So beyond technology, as you would just look at, today across the world, capitalism is being challenged, right? Why do I need to spend money and tie up my capital if I can pay by ring, right? That's the evolving cloud model. Why do I have to tie up cash if I can consume something that I need on a commodity basis? And what's the advantage I would get? I think that's the famous Nicholas Carr debate that IT does not matter, right? IT is a commodity. As long as it's a commodity, it does not give a competitive advantage, which is not true, because all of us sitting in this room have a brain, right? That doesn't mean brain becomes a commodity, but it depends how you put your brain to use, right? The competitive advantage is not in the asset itself, it's how you use the asset, right? So the transformation is in terms of knowledge, right? It's going to become a knowledge economy, it's going to become a knowledge delivery that we're looking for. So balancing the scale efficiency with attitude efficacy is going to be the tightrope that we all need to walk. Right. So the economics of transferring these would depend on value that you create, because today value that you create is momentarily, because it perishes as the sooner you consume, right? In a cloud service. Today I got a need to send an SMS, I'll take my phone, send an SMS, that's it. I have achieved the value. Until I want to send another phone call or another SMS, that phone for me does not have a value, other than probably the instrument itself. Right. So a service today has value as long as I have a need. I consume that service, and the value for that service perishes the moment I consume and have fulfilled the need that I had for. Right. So why I'm trying to put a spin on this is, into the future, there is going to be choices in terms of services that you have. Today, okay, even if you take a mobile provider, you would rather scratch your head in terms of first the device. Do I use Apple, Android, Office, or Microsoft? Then which service provider, Dialog, Mobitel? But you have to worry. Going forward, say for example you're on Viber. Does it matter whether you're on Dialog or Mobitel or Airtel? It doesn't. Because Viber operates as long as you have GPS connectivity, right? So the services that you consume will become independent of instruments, will become independent of providers. So you are at the fingertips in terms of what you want to choose and what you want to do with it. Right. So this will drastically change the landscape that we play in as an organization. The organized structures as well as resources that we would have. So this is in terms of all the 2.2s that we've been familiar with. Today, the status quo is we are talking about enterprise 2.2, web 2.2, management 2.2, but not 2.2, right? Everything is 2.2. Why? Because we are saying everything is about mashable, collaboration. Everything is kind of mix and match, right? So nothing standard as such. So the 2.2 coinage is purely in terms of that there are a lot of choices out there for you, and you pick and choose as to what befits you. So what are the mega waves that we are seeing today, right? I've dramatized it by saying consumerized of everything. Today, I don't think anyone in any business can say, I have a value proposition which can last for more than a year, right? Because whatever, so Apple comes up with 5S, Android will come up with 4S. Apple is coming up with now, and Android is already talking about 4S, next evolution. Because the catch-up game will happen pretty fast. The window advantage is maximum about a year, right? In technology or even business. So consumerization of everything is a norm, and relevance to us is IT. Today, there is mass convergence happening into the Internet of everything. With the shift from IP version 4 to IP version 6, every square foot area of this earth can have an IP address, which would mean into the 20s, you are going to see each and every instrument in your home, including your TV to microwave to every device which is running on electricity will have an IP address. Hence, it will become manageable through the cloud, right? So anywhere anytime access will become a reality as long as you have connectivity. So interactions of everything is because today our interactions is on web, person, on mobile, right? So imagine when devices start talking to each other. Today what they are talking about, the latest research is machine to machine, right? So if you're driving a car, your car battery is running out of gas, it communicates to the nearest station or to recharge, or through GPS tracks the nearest station to go and recharge its batteries, and it gives you a prompt saying drive to this closest station because I have to recharge myself, right? So without you knowing, the cooperative systems are going to make decisions for you, to make your life easy, and to make running businesses easy, right? So the big data, again I said that single version of truth is a fallacy, because big data is all about saying that there's so much of data out there which even you are not aware that is about you, right? Because today people come and say, hey, I read something about you, I said, yeah. So you don't even know what's getting posted about you, good or bad, right? Because that's the sophisticated world that we live in. So cloud of everything is going to be a reality, because last month I was actually in Singapore. I went to one of the stores. They had Seagate had a 3 terabyte hard disk with Wi-Fi Bluetooth enabled called your foundation to the personal cloud. You can hook up to 8 devices. You can sync on Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, whatever instruments that you have. So which means that you don't need to have a hard disk in any of your devices. But that's my personal cloud, right? I carry that and go. I have all I want intact, including my contact list to emails to photographs to whatever stuff, right? So cloud is getting coined or transformed into something that everyone has a purpose for, not only the enterprises. So I spoke of value chain. These two slides that I'm going to share is based on the Blue Ocean strategy. I don't know whether you have read the book Blue Ocean strategy by Kanchi. I would encourage you all to read that. Because ultimately, if you want to create value, there are a couple of questions you need to ask: who, how, what, right? And that will in turn take you to the strategic canvas, right? Because today, if you are looking at differentiating yourself, this is about circus. Examples have been illustrated here. If you take a strategic canvas, if you evaluate your product or service that you're offering around 10 attributes, you need to look at what are the 2 or 3 attributes where I could uniquely differentiate and give price advantage. That's the differentiation that you are looking at, and whether in those attributes that you are looking to differentiate, the technology as a whole, right? Say for example, Formula 1 hotel which has been launched recently in Europe, or recently a couple of years back. Now, they are the cheapest hotel, budget hotel, but they give you the biggest bed in town, right? Because 3/4 of the room is the bed. And the seating is also, they have cushions around the wall, so you can use that as a seat as well. So they say comfort, good rest, cheap price. And if you're going to Europe, you probably only go to the hotel to sleep, right? So that's, and it's next to the hotel next to the airport. I think in the Netherlands as well, they have stayed in a hotel. So it's a about exactly identifying a market segment, what tickles them, what are the attributes which tickles them, and see whether then technology has a role in differentiating those attributes. So the transformation that we are looking at from a technology point of view is the choices from build, buy versus build to buy and build, integrate. Right? Today we own some, we buy some, we host some, but the key word is whether we could integrate all of those. Back office, technology playing a bigger role in back office, moving to the front office. In marketing, in social media, we're talking about digital strategy, chief digital officers, CIO transforming into marketeers. And recently we had a good debate at VCS, marketing versus technology. Who should lead the way in digital marketing? So there are a lot of debates which are happening which are relevant to the businesses. Personal productivity to global productivity, right? Because today it's not about how individuals contribute to the business, but how an ecosystem of individuals could contribute to the business. Data processing from collaboration, because of big data, because we're not talking about traditional information, we're talking about futuristic, predictive analytics. Sitting today, what can I do tomorrow, right? Today I know with SAP HANA, there is so much of power. Apparently Singapore recently has done a case study where within the airport, they use analytics of seeing where the subscribers are moving around and what they have been purchasing, and then using those analytics to say that at these stores there are promotions which are specific to you, targeted. Right. So this is again in terms of the strategic analysis. There are 10 key innovation levers that you have. Right. Now these are different companies who have used it to their advantage and succeeded. I will probably share this slide deck on my website as well, so you could probably look at the video as well at your leisure. So here you will see each company different unique proposition, different unique attributes, and become market leader in its own sense. And technology has played a bigger role in many of them.
Objects around us carry a lot of valuable information. Over time, this information has been lost because objects were not able to transmit it. But that has changed. After nearly 100 years innovating in the ways people communicate, in Telefonica, we've stepped forward to establish communication between things. Machine to machine is the technology that establishes intelligent communication between things and contributes to a more sustainable, efficient, and ecological world. This technology uses the information objects have about the environment and about ourselves to generate intelligent solutions automatically, without the need for intermediaries. Welcome to the M2M world of Telefonica. Welcome to a better world.
So, from today's context, coming from probably from the future, come to reality today. Today, what are the CIOs expecting from CEOs? CEOs expecting from CIOs? Whether technology could play a role in revenue generation? Can I acquire new customers? Can I improve customer satisfaction, right? So the CIO role itself is not about investing in technology and maintaining status quo. It's about how can I transform and deliver value for the money that I spend in terms of technology, right? So the debate at the C-suite is all about, given the strategies that we have, what role has technology to play in each of those strategies rather than just having lights on, right? One of my favorite quotes is now, when we get home, we walk up to the wall, put on the lights, we expect the lights to come on. I don't think we care two hoots about whether it's nuclear, it's thermal, it's hydro, whatever, right? Today, employees turn up at offices, go to the desktops, they expect the email to work, internet to work, ERP to work, everything to work. It's lights on, right? If it breaks, shit else breaks loose. But if it doesn't, nobody cares, right? It doesn't give you advantage. That's lights on stuff, like Nicholas Stout said, right? ID does not matter because lights on. So what matters? Today, there are 5 guys who came in badmouth you about your service on social media. Do you know about it? And that is going to be viral in terms of negating your brand. Do we have technology to harvest those and utilize those? Right? So that's the kind of thing which has impact in terms of brand reputation, in terms of looking at general well-being, general growth, and in terms of propagating the good message about the organization. Right? So ultimately, today's CRS mandate is about innovate with the business. Right? We need to understand business strategies. We should be talking business strategies, and we need to understand where technology has a role to play. And we have to jettison non-core activities. Right? So it's important to figure out that 20% of the stuff which delivers 80% of the value and focus energy around that, not on the 80% of the stuff which delivers 20% of the value and hence consume bigger part of your time. Right? And again, what I said, the mosaics of small companies and free agents are what's going to support you in the future, not the big companies like the, I don't want to name brands, but the big 5s and the big 10s may not be relevant in the future because there will be so many commoditized stuff which will add more value to you and which can definitely federate. And if you have the capability to integrate and use that to benefit the organization, that's going to give you a compelling benefit to your organization. Right? So it's about optimizing mega systems, what I said. Right? Not about having siloed mega system which doesn't integrate the world, but maybe small system which integrates and gives you that value in terms of being part of the big ecosystem. Right? Focus on the IT innovation. And as I said, balancing private security is going to be the biggest challenge. I don't know if there are answers for it, but everyone has to be satisfied that you're safeguarding something until I heard yesterday a Navy SEAL's website got hacked. Right? So I don't know what can't get hacked anymore, right? Because it's about ultimately technology is created by human beings. The threats are created by human beings. So it's ultimately cooperative systems which can keep ahead of a human brain. Watson Labs is, I don't know whether it's creating a computer which is going to be part of the newer dimensions, which is probably like the plan release for a couple of years. So cooperative systems is all about artificial intelligence projecting more than a single human brain, right? So that's the kind of thing which could probably balance these kind of threats in terms of bringing AI into operational norms. So what are the value drivers in today's context which would compel us to invest in IT? Hyper-competition. Today we are in a virtual world, so competition can come from anywhere, right? As you would see, Samsung threatened Nokia from nowhere. BlackBerry, who was king of the enterprises 10 years back, is 3% market share, wanting of buyers. Yesterday Nokia got acquired by Microsoft. So competition is going to see consolidation in the market. And with consolidation, obviously, you will have the economies of scale. And as I said, you would probably have lesser choices, but more cost-effective choices. Acquiring talent is going to be a challenge. The cost pressures, definitely, because every year you're seeing we are always asked to do more with less, right? Consumer needs of our changing. It's difficult to map a single consumer because today consumers don't like mass marketing. They want one-on-one relationship. They want them to be treated special, right? and how do you make it sustainable? Wastage, environmental impact, triple line reporting is becoming norms in corporates. And how do you translate data into better insights? Today, the biggest challenge is there are 500 of you here. Whether we could make sense in terms of what did you expect out of this conference, right? So we have data about you in terms of your name, address, everything, but whether your expectations, whether that contributes to benefit is something very difficult to capture unless you go beyond in terms of post this event, what you go and post on Facebook, right? And what you think of the event and what ultimately you got out of it. So agility becomes a norm because agility is all about if there's a change in the context, how can I respond to it and how fast can I respond to it? That ability does not come easy, right? So a lot of my colleagues, when I speak about technology, they say, hey, how can technology be value driven? This slide was confusing, is just to say there's so much opportunity out there for technology to add value. But whether you understand the potential of that and whether you can marry that to your organization is in you, right? Because technology is never short of promises, but that promise has to be converted into realizable value by a human being, ultimately. So, my take on the subject is always, if you want to succeed at a boardroom level, you got to show 2x is going to become less than 2x in terms of cost. There is some benefit. So only way you can shave off the part of 2x is outsourcing non-core stuff, or saying this is non-core or this is a utility. Someone else has an economics of scale that I don't have. Like what we did with email, we outsourced to 365, or voice, we outsourced it to Sri Lanka Telecom. Because that's not a core activity of our business, but someone else can make an economics of scale bigger than my addressable space is 3,000 employees, right? But then it frees up much more time for my team to look at more strategic stuff in terms of looking at revenue generating opportunities and in the front line, right? So that's where the entire ecosystem and the entire boardroom level discussion needs to happen around this line. So ultimately, unleashing value is all about maximizing business value, maximizing IT value alignment, minimizing cost of delivery and risk, which becomes sustainable because you can't invest in technology at a point in time, unfortunately, because if you're investing CapEx, but if you're going OpEx route, pay by the drink, it doesn't matter, it doesn't work for you. You say, kiss them goodbye, look at another option, right? So, business IT alignment is all about understanding business priorities, right? Today, say for example, if the leisure segment is not doing too well, I'll be foolhardy to go recommend to the board to change the property management system, right? So, even if I'm recommending a property management system, I need to know per room we are charging $100, and if I invest X amount of million in this and a 60% occupancy, it's going to translate into $5 per room in absorption cost into that business, and can that business sustain that? And in retail business, which often operates at a 1% margin, it's a cash-rich business but low in net profit. But again, you need to look at the impact of your investment in terms of cash flows, in terms of bottom line, to ensure that those values are sustained. So this is again a slide from Gartner in terms of 2013, priorities today, business priorities, IT priorities. You can see where the alignment is going: analytics, Cooperative technology, cloud computing, collaboration. Again, all non-traditional stuff, more into the revenue lines, more into the customer facing, more into the predictive analytics. So, to realize this, obviously you need to benchmark your organization against the industry best. Look at who are industry competitors, benchmark them. Look at the quantified business value that you would gain from it in technology investment. What is the value that you could create? Align those to that in terms of business IT alignment, and ensure that you have measures which you can track at least on a 3 to 5 year horizon to ensure that value is delivered. So here again, I will be surprised with the audio is not there, but let me give it a go.
goals for the hospitality industry of the future aren't different from today's. It's not only to fill rooms, but to create a stellar guest experience that leads to repeat business. And in a future not too long from now, a traveler will be able to use outward-reaching, customizable, collaborative technologies and tools to envision a trip, plan the logistics, and enjoy a stay, and feel like a preferred customer at every step. Using technology so connected, systems so automatic, and so integrated in the traveler's lifestyle, she doesn't give it a second thought. The first introduction to the personalized attention she can come to expect is a video chat from the video concierge, Fabrizio. He gives her a virtual tour of the hotel, and since she mentioned she loves to dance, he shows her she has come to the right place. After booking the room, automatically she gets information on her travel arrangements and links she may find useful before her trip. The week before her trip, she receives automated, personalized messages from Fabrizio, updating details and offering additional services. She authorizes linking her stored personal profile to the hotel's communication network, including preferences for pillows, room temperature, minibar requests, and even her music playlist. On travel day, Fabrizio wishes her a good trip and introduces her to the on-site concierge, Antonio, who will greet her at the hotel. When she arrives, the NFC ID in her communication device is picked up by the hotel transceiver and triggers a number of automatic events. She feels right at home. She attends a quick meeting.
We have a few things to go over. Jackie, you want to start your report now?
Well, I think there's a lot of good
Then
things
heads
that
for
are going
dinner.
on.
She is handed a device that reveals a customized menu based on her profile preferences. After ordering, she syncs the menu card with her personal device, and she posts a message about her experience. Besides being a security feature, the GPS sensor built into her luggage tag alerts the staff to her location as she leaves the lobby. She gets a live thank you from a familiar face and a summary of loyalty points she earned. The Hotel of the Future surrounds the guest 360 degrees from the first moment of contact with unintrusive but pervasive cloud-based services. The hotel becomes the service center, facilitating the whole travel package, acting as the virtual concierge for every travel need, available 24/7 from booking to checkout. Cost-effective, loyalty-inducing, automated information sharing, and real-time hospitality team collaboration. Contact Avaya for a consultation about optimizing the future with communications that improve efficiency, are guest-focused, and engender customer loyalty.
So pick 3 slides. So realizing the true potential ultimately depends on your choice. Henry first saying, the man who will use his skill and constructive imagination to see how much he can give for $1 instead of how little is bound to succeed. This is your potential. The difference between what we do and what we are capable of doing would suffice to solve most of those problems. Mahatma Gandhi. Your achievement. You never conquer the mountain, you can't conquer yourself. Your doubts and your fears. Jim Whittaker to climb Mount Everest first. And final parting thing, do not go to where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. That's my begging of you, and I hope that this was interesting and unsettled you to an extent that when you walk out of the door, you'll do something different. Thanks a lot.